Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again. As a vlogger in the Philippines, I've been accused of overhyping the country. And paradise is a word I use often. Paradise, in my opinion, is in the eyes of the beholder. And paradise, to me, is any place where men are not under attack and the Me Too movement doesn't exist. Now, it's easy for these other vloggers to miss this point when their definition is based mainly on infrastructure and natural beauty. I came from a place where men are being convicted of dreams. And this Me Too movement is allowing women to bring up charges from as far back as 60 years or longer. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying this abuse. If you're guilty, you should be held accountable. But when you seem to be making up the rules as you go, it puts men on edge. And with so many innocent people rotting away in our prison system and reputations being destroyed, families being torn apart, nobody wants to join these ranks. So paradise to me is a place where these threats don't exist, period. The Philippines has a rich culture that still values the man in society and in the household, among other things. But many Western visitors, we ignore the culture because we bring with us a superiority complex. We feel that the Philippines is inferior to our native countries. And we spend far too much time nitpicking this place. Nothing seems to be good enough here. From our point of view, genius, which is found everywhere on earth, skipped over the Philippines. Well, that's pure ignorance. With 2,000 inhabited islands, few, if anybody, has seen all that this country has to offer. And with such a limited view, we can't say one way or the other without sounding naive. So it's always going to be a topic of debate, a topic of discussion. Because if you ask 100 foreign visitors what they like about the Philippines, you're sure to get 100 different answers. The divers are going to say one thing. The party goers are going to say one thing. The Johns are going to say something else, and so on and so forth. But any definition of paradise that doesn't include peace and an escape from threats and harassment is flawed. Are men really under attack in the West? I guess that's up for debate too. But what's not up for debate are the headlines full of accusations against rich and powerful men who are being persecuted and sometimes prosecuted for alleged crimes that were committed decades ago. The masses of men were watching this, and we're wondering, who's next? We know that we don't have the money or the resources to fight a case like that. As someone who has faced false allegations of exploiting Filipino women and human trafficking from foreign entities, by the way, from outside the country, I know from experience the pain and the misery that this causes. And that's why I say that paradise is any place where men are not under attack and the Me Too movement doesn't exist. Vloggers are very opinionated, and that's good for the viewers because you're going to get a varied viewpoint of the country. So whether the Philippines is a paradise or not is always going to be argued. But one thing that you cannot deny about the Philippines is the beauty. What is your definition of paradise? It's surely going to be different than mine. I want a place where I can come, I can relax, free from threats, free from harassment. And that's what's happened to me here. There's a reason I've been here for 5 years. People don't bother me here. What few years I have on earth, I'm allowed to live in peace, and that's just how I like it. Where I came from, that's not the case. Right now, as we speak, my 6-year-old grandson, they're trying to admit him into a psychiatric hospital at 6 years old. See, I'm under threat in my country. I mean, what happened to the counseling? When I was his age and I acted up in school, if I ever acted up in school, I got my behind beat. Because that's one threat that my mother carried out. If you go to school and embarrass her, your ass is hers. There was no counseling. There was no psychiatric hospitals. There was no CPS. There was none of that. We become extremists over there. So that's one of the reasons I have to go home. I have to see what's going on with my grandson. But I know I won't be able to stay long there, because if I do, I'm going to get in trouble. Because I see no good with taking a 6-year-old out of his home, away from his entire support system. And I'm going to let that be known. And in a system that's chock full of women, I know I'm going to bump heads with somebody there. I had the same problem with my then 5-year-old son in 2018. It's one of the reasons we decided to come to the Philippines when we did. Yeah, I was struggling, but I could have held on another year or so. But I was called in because they said, oh, your son is having problems. Now, I know my son because I raised him. I knew what it was. He was adjusting to America. He hadn't been over there long, certainly his first year in school. That's why we had him in ESL. So whatever instructions they gave me, I ignored them. And I was proven to be right, because now my son is a very intelligent, thriving 5th grader over there in America. So that's why I like it here. That's why I call the Philippines paradise. Because men are not under attack over here. And the Me Too movement doesn't exist here. The only problems I've ever had have come from foreign entities outside of the Philippines with all of that Me Too stuff. But it was men doing the thing. So thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. Thank y'all for listening. If you're in America, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please find somebody to help. But if you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're just getting off second shift, or you're on your lunch break, you see somebody on the street or wherever you see them, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's early. Not a day goes by that we don't help somebody. I'm very, very excited. This Friday, December 22nd, we're going to have our Christmas to Remember giveaway. We're going to spin the wheel 10 times, and 10 of our lucky Filipino subscribers are going to win 5,000 pesos each. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. And I'll see y'all next time. Enjoy this beautiful footage of the Philippines, courtesy of Pexels.com. Thank you.